Hello, and welcome to the Goat Simulator 2021 D&D version. Tonight, it's going to be all goats, all show. Just buckle up, everybody. There's going to be a lot of bleeding, headbutting, chewing on fences.
Oops, all goats.
Yeah,
all goats.
yeah, I'm here for it.
Well, this is what happens when you piss off a sorceress the first thing, and she polymorphs you all into goats permanently.
Yikes.
Great.
Wouldn't that be fun?
These are the decisions you have made. Actually, no, they're the decisions I made for a segue into the show. Dave, do you have anything more constructive to start us off with there?
I don't know if I can beat that. The pre-GOAT stream was fantastic. If those of you who missed it, it'll be on VOD shortly. But we're transitioning now into a brand new campaign, a brand new adventure. I want to say a big shout out to Michael, who's going to be taking over. He is in the Dungeon Master's chair. I'm taking a break from Beyond Saltmarsh for a couple weeks so we can prepare for season 4. And in the meantime, we're going to have some fun playing in a brand new area of the Greyhawk world. I'll let Michael tell you a little bit more about that. But yeah, thank you all for being here, folks in the chat. Michael, players, I'm going to pass it to you, Michael, to give us a little bit of a welcome and introduction, and then we'll just work our way through this being the session 0 of the Isle of Endless Fog.
I'm kidding. I do get a little bit of stage fright, but not like that, it turns out. I just tend to ramble, so buckle up. Hi, as has been noted, my name is Michael. You may have seen me from a couple of other places in and around this channel. At least one necromancer, maybe a decromancer, maybe a decro-necromancer, and also an Ala of Thor, as well as at least on 2 separate occasions for one-shots, I have played characters that can kill you with their mind. Because this just in, that's my jam. But that's not the genre we're going with today. That's not really the feel we're evoking for this kind of short campaign. I don't want to set everybody's expectations too high. It's going to be, a month, maybe 2. And we'll get into kind of the specifics of what it is, who wrote it, the wonderful, beautiful people that wrote this, who we do love and adore. We'll get to you guys, don't worry. But from there, I think it's best if we went around the virtual table and let everyone introduce themselves. I don't know if my order is your order, and we didn't discuss it beforehand, so I'm just going to call people out based on where you are on my screen. Going clockwise, we're going to start with Chad.
Hello, it's me, Chad. You may have remembered me from such streams as Midwinter Keening and Beyond Saltmarsh. And if you dig into the archives, perhaps you would have known me from Roll Your Doom. I'm excited. Did you want anything else?
I am here to accept whatever gifts you have to give me. Next, we're going to go to the man, the myth, the legend, literally a legend. In certain countries, he is actually spoken of in hushed tones. Mr. Guttormson himself.
Oh, you're talking about me. Oh, you. All right. Anyways, my name is Andrew Guttormson. Some people call me Andy. Some people also call me Runar Dag.
Runar fucking Dag.
Beyond Saltmarsh. I'm also known as Stieg Egilson in our game. What's it called? Svealand.
Midwinter Keening.
Midwinter's Keening. Sorry, I'm a little off tonight. And as you can tell, my voice is also a little off tonight because I caught a cold and now it just breaks a lot, like I'm 13 again or something.
I thought you were just doing like a character, your new character.
I thought that was Stieg's voice.
I wish I could replicate this every
Firebolt,
week.
Firebolt.
Anyways,
oh god,
teenage adventurer.
Dave,
flashback.
please save us from that. Please.
Hi everybody,
This
my
quality.
name's Dave. I am oftentimes the dungeon master on our Wednesday night streams for our Beyond Saltmarsh game. Taking a break, as I mentioned. I play in the Midwinter Keening game that's set in the wonderful world of Svealand. Love that game. You can find me on Sunday nights playing over at Time Lord's Wife's channel in a Curse of Strahd campaign, which has been really fun. and I can be found on the socials at D_MDave. Yeah, really happy to be here. Super appreciative. I'm really excited to play.
Right. Thank you so much, Dave. And now on to our designated adult, the person who we look to make responsible
no.
adult decisions at this table.
Kirk?
It's Ashley.
Oh God.
Just skip Kirk. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Ashley. You might also see me on here as Minnesota Muse. I am on the Thursday game with Sveland, and I play Astrid Bouldersdotter, Gothi, who does psychic damage and necrotic damage. Just pretty cool. So check us out on Thursday too. On Mondays, I have my own private game where I'm a DM, and I think I saw one of my players briefly pop up in the chat, so that's exciting. I'm good to see you here. And I'm excited for this brand new game and brand new characters for Michael's game.
All right. That, of course, leaves the one, the only, the indefinable, the indefatigable, the inevitable, he who will bring it all together, Kirk's cat. Kirk's cat.
I will grab her just a second.
No. I mean, I kind of want to see the cat, but I don't want to break the flow for that.
Oh yeah. I can't believe you made me go last. Jeez. Well, anyways.
I'm not the one that set up the Zoom windows. That's Zoom.
Hey, I'm looking at. Well, anyways.
Zoom did it.
I'm Kirk. I play Byron Hearn. You might know him. You probably don't. That's okay. Because not a lot of people do. More people know his alter ego, Dr. McKillingutty.
That's true.
But yeah, he's not in this game. So I guess you really don't know who I am. I don't know who I am. But we're gonna find out today.
Identity is a transitory thing. It's okay, my friend. It is a thing we construct, sometimes socially, sometimes using things written on papers and with dice. And that's what we're getting into, but not quite yet. First, we're going to get into announcements. This whole thing's my announcement. What other announcements do we have, gentlemen?
We have an announcement for an announcement. I like it.
And now announcing the announcements.
I've got an announcement for you, Michael. I bet that you know this, but maybe not everybody knows this. Our Wednesday night game is sponsored by CZRPG Publishing. Have you heard of these guys? They are the fantastic people that create a bunch of awesome supplements for 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons. We're talking about game settings, adventures, player options, a bunch of maps, and a bunch of different creatures, all kinds of great stuff. They actually, one of the head honchos over there, Christian, wrote this particular module / adventure that we're going to be playing in for the next couple of weeks. So we're really excited to actually take a full product of theirs off the shelf. Michael's going to do some stuff to it, and then we're going to play it.
That makes it sound kind of dirty.
Well, it's there's a lot of passion that goes into it. A lot of passion.
You're going to have your way with the adventure?
It is dirty.
Now, I did not read the adventure ahead of time, but I will say this. We're going to give a copy of it away tonight. So if you want to enter the drawing to win the Isle of Endless Fog, all you have to do is type !drawing into the chat window. Kirk is going to show you how it's done. Mods, players, our DM, and all of our viewers are welcome to enter for that. It is pretty cool. I just pulled off a couple of stats off of the DM's Guild, which is another great place if you want to go check out all of the great stuff that CZRPG has. You can go check out their DM's Guild library. But this particular product, the Isle of Endless Fog, is an 80-page PDF with 16 new creatures, 11 new items, a bunch of settlement maps, a map of the entire Isle of Man where this is taking place. I'm not even going to say what that other map is because I don't want to ruin the fun there. I just read it and it scares me. There's a map for Derby Haven. Okay. That's cool. I don't know what that means.
Is that where people just only wear derbies?
Yep. I think it's horse racing. I'm not sure.
It's a haven.
All of these are potentially true here in the moment of possibility.
Enter to win this. It's going to be cool. We're going to give it away at the end of the stream tonight. So !drawing to be entered to win. I can see that folks are getting in there already. Thalanos, thanks for being here. Good to see you. Sorry I murdered your name there. What else? Oh, let's see. Sponsor, giveaway. I think that's it for me.
I mean, that sounds great. Hey, Captain Gormson, Captain
Yes.
Monsignor Gittormson, His Holiness Captain Monsignor Gittormson, Esquire. I think you're double Esquire now. Can you tell me? I've got a problem. My problem is so often I find myself not wearing clothes, and I need to fix it, but I don't know how.
You know what? I have that
Fascinating.
exact same problem. Luckily, we have the perfect solution here at Superior Adventurers Guild. We have our very own t-shirt shop selling merch full of t-shirts, long sleeve shirts, sweatshirts. Clothe your kids, put them in hoodies, get them a mask so you don't catch a cold
Hey, check
like
it
I
out.
got this week.
Check it out.
Hell
I
yeah.
got- I got
just
the
like
mask.
Dave's got one. You
I
can
got
see.
it.
So you don't catch
You can use it as a
coronavirus or-
blindfold.
whatever it is I caught.
But Andy, will it
yeah.
be cleaner
You could-
and nicer than
you
the
could wear it in
pelts
other
of dead
places,
animals
too.
I've just found by the road?
Absolutely. And it single-handedly cures all disease. Okay, well, that hasn't
Wow.
Wow.
that statement hasn't been approved yet by the Federal Drug Administration.
It's
But
still in review.
Wow.
yeah, but you know,
I think that's my
get
new
a
favorite.
t-shirt while we wait for that approval. You get a t-shirt.
That's,
Yep.
that's my new favorite one, Andy. Clothe your kids, put them in hoodies.
You know,
That's true.
well, we got it all, man.
Oh gosh. What other announcements do we have, Chad? I feel like I've heard announcements from you in
Oh
the
man,
past.
yeah, I've got some announcements.
Any
Say-
conventions?
I do. One convention now. One convention already happened. We have one remaining convention for the near future that we are participating in. Next weekend, which is, of course, the anniversary of my birth, but also, and
Oh.
more relevant to this story, is that it is Gamehole Con, the largest tabletop role-playing game convention in the Midwest, housed physically right there in Madison, Wisconsin, but 7 hours away from me, 6.5 maybe. I don't want to drive that. But luckily, it is also located virtually everywhere. It's right here where we are right now, because there is a virtual component to it. Thanks to COVID. Thank you, COVID, for giving us virtual conventions so that
Are
we
you-
can all go to them.
Are you saying that Gamehole Con has found a way to finally bypass limitations of our senses and has entered the oneness where space and time are prone to be a lie, so that the gaming is all and nothing?
It is now a liminal space indeed, my friend, that you too can enjoy from your own house or perhaps your car via your phone or a laptop, maybe a tablet. Anyway, it's awesome. The 21st through the 23rd or 24th, because it's usually like Thursday through Sunday. We will be doing 2 games, one Friday and one Saturday. I will be running 2 iterations of lovely Runehammer games, one of which is Xeno Dead Zone. The game is called Assault on Europa 2. It's a great love letter to Alien and Aliens. And the second game I'll be running is Bearcats to the Rescue, using Runehammer's system agnostic Bearcats setting and the newly released ICRPG Master Edition. And ultimately, that game is a love letter to the great, wonderful coming of age movie that everyone enjoys, Red Dawn. Except for there's aliens and not communists. So,
It could be
you know,
communist aliens. We don't know what the socioeconomic
Possibly.
organization is.
That's true. That's fair. That's
You know
fair.
what blew me away is that Red Dawn came out in 1984.
I know, right?
Yeah.
It's so long ago.
It is.
Oh,
It's
Time is weird, guys. Don't
Yeah.
think about it too long.
yeah.
Cute.
Yeah, we'll be streaming those games right here on the channel. I will be helming it. It's going to be great. I'm super excited. I've got most of the work ready. I've got a little bit left to do, but it's going to be super fun. And so, join us for those things. I think it's like 11. I think both games are at like 11. I went for early so that I could also enjoy the rest of my day and or play a game or probably just hang out with my wife, because it's my birthday weekend. But
Here, she's a great person to hang out
there
with.
it is. She is
She
a
is a great
fantastic
person to hang out with.
person to hang out with. So yeah, I got that going on, which is nice.
At least I got that going for me.
I got one more I forgot about.
Go for it.
Yep. Sorry. We are also running a fundraiser session on the 23rd of this month. It is called The Fractured Darkness. And we're going to be running it. Yeah, I just made that up on the spot. We're going to be we're going to be running that over at the Games Tavern's Twitch channel. I'll drop a link to it here in the chat, but the whole idea behind this stream, it's a one shot. It's going to be very lethal. Once we get some more of the promotional materials out, people can donate to Operation Supply Drop, which is the charity that we're raising money for, which supports veterans in a variety of different ways. Operation Supply Drop is famous for bringing games and joy to joyless areas. But people will be able to actually like purchase healing potions for the party, or even they can buy a level for party members, which is crazy. Yeah,
That's
so
nuts.
I've seen
Ashley
the donation list. It's
it's cool.
It's pretty bonkers.
Ashley, you're playing in it, so once we get all this information out, you'll be able to promote that for your PC, who you don't know who that's going to be yet, but you'll be able to raise money to magic items, levels. So if you really kick butt, I mean, you could come in with a 20th level character and really screw things up. It'll be super fun.
I am full of emotions about this.
Yeah, it's gonna be bizarre, and it can happen before the game starts. So the pre-donation push is really important. But then even during the game, during the game, what people can do is they can donate to the DM to drop a monster. And so I have a quiver of high-level monsters that are just gonna like bamf into the space to murder everybody. It's gonna be lots of fun.
Fantasy Animal Vegan, if you are out there, I feel like this was entirely designed for you.
Seriously, this game
and I hope you take this opportunity.
And
It's gonna be
Kyle.
nuts.
Someone please take pity on me because I'm gonna start dead.
It's the pity isn't for you, my friend. The pity is for Dave. Because I watched Chris Perkins do a table just like this at Game Arcana in 2017 for like Matt Mercer and Patrick Rothfuss, and oh wow, it was
crazy,
absolutely
right?
It was absolutely stupid. It was so stupid.
Yeah.
Emergent storytelling.
Yeah,
That is.
it was
Interesting.
crazy. It was so fun.
I'm
excited
excited.
for that.
Yeah, it's going to be really
Yeah.
neat. So yeah, we'll get more information out as we get a couple more details squared away, but that's on the 23rd. So that's coming up in a little over a week. Whew. Yeah, it'll be fun. So
Do we have anything else we want to touch on as an announcement, Ashley or Kirk?
Kirk, is it anybody's birthday today?
Not today, but look forward to next week because I
Sneak
heard
preview.
there's a special birthday.
Okay.
Happy early birthday, Chad.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, indeed. Happy birthday to all you fine people with birthdays in October, like me, but also Chad. So we'll go ahead and kind of get started here just to kind of give you a vague outline of where we're going with this, both you, the players, and you, the viewers. We're going to do session 0 in 2 broad arcs. The first part is going to be kind of a session 0 checklist, just a general, hey, let's talk through do just a couple of questions for team building, talk through, the goes and no goes, if you will, in many places. It's not going to be as big as it might be in some places because a lot of the questions on a good checklist about session 0 are already handled by both the format and the fact that we've been doing this for a while. Like we know that we aren't going to bring pizza to the game because it's virtual, and you can't eat a pizza collectively on the internet that I know of. If someone has figured that out, though, please let me know.
If we all get DoorDash at the
Mhm.
same time,
We could all order the same pizza, and then we're all like eating.
Oh, what kind
sorta?
of pizza would you order?
This was not a puzzle to solve. Oh my god! And this
No, they
should've-
actually
We're
they have an
D&D
app
people.
built for
Everything's
that.
No,
a
and
puzzle.
this is the beauty of D&D right there. We could have made a whole bit out of it. But just to rein it back in for a little bit before we get lost again, the second half is where we're going to be talking about who's your character, how they know each other, what's their buy-in to the Isle of Man, and all of that. So to kind of bring us back and start us off, I'll talk a little bit about the module and the adventure itself, if you will. I would open this with a simple fact. I generally don't run prepackaged adventures. Don't generally like them, don't generally get them. For those of you who were not with us at the beginning of the stream or before in the pre-stream when we were just talking, which is all of you on the internet, we were talking about a couple of them and some of the hits and misses. And it's not something that I've regularly before done. That having been said, I have to tip the hat to the CZRPG team, specifically because, oh gosh, where is my document that I am looking for? The actual document, because it has the authors on the front. It's Christian Zuck and Jack Weigel?
Mhm.
Jack. I knew Christian. I didn't know Jack. It's a really good, well-written, contained adventure. It's got really good mood. It provides a very good kind of structure for go do the things you want, but it'll all come together in the right place. And there's content that I know if I ran this 5 different times, you would have 5 completely different set of interactions because there's so much in there. So I'm really excited to kind of dig in and see where this goes. Which of course also means for, my good players, be aware it's sandboxy in the sense that there are no wrong decisions and paths to take unless it kills you. That's the only wrong decision. Unless that's what you're after, in which case it was the right decision. Gosh, open-ended stories are difficult like that, aren't they? As far as the actual Isle of Endless Fog itself, it is originally set in, I believe it's Fallen Camelot is the actual setting that that I believe it's Christian kind of sets a lot of his stuff in, but I don't know for certain as I haven't had the joy of reading all of his stuff. So it's originally Arthurian in its inspiration. And as one can imagine from the title Isle of Endless Fog, there's a lot of horror overtones here. So the flavor is quite literally, I may have written in one of the notes about this, it's Arthurian horror. And that's just, it's got, I believe, as someone on the channel might occasionally say, it's just got some gravy on it. So
in more ways than one, perhaps.
Mhm.
oh gosh.
And real quick, just a quick clarify on this particular piece of content, it was published by Realm Warp Media, which is a publishing company that both Christian and Jack work for or are associated with, and have now spun off to do their own stuff from that. But this is sort of from that that nugget of creativity that sort of spawned the rest of the creations that they put out there. So it's kind of like the OG world.
Maybe nugget.
And if this is their OG,
Original gravy. Yep.
I'm terrified to see how good the newer stuff is, because it's very nice. So
Very nice.
the tonality is very unique. The mood, as I kind of short term distilled it down in one of the write-ups is they come in the mists, which if anyone's seen 13th Warrior, that's a direct quote, and maybe go watch that. It's an isle shrouded in fog, so there's going to be a lot of uncertain things. There are things in the mist, as always, and this time it's not just is it my imagination? It's like, maybe, probably not. We'll get more into that in a bit. From that, I'm gonna kind of jump over to kind of going through the session 0 checklist and kicking off those discussions, which I will do in my other window. Hey, the checklist I'm going to kind of just run the conversation through is actually a truncated version of what is titled the Ultimate Session 0 Checklist by Bob the World Builder. He's an individual who is a YouTuber, D&D commenter, and it's a very good, what I believe, very thorough checklist of just things to make sure you hit in your session 0. We're not going to be doing all of it because we already know what our scheduling is, for example. But we'll go ahead and get started now. This will be.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, Ashley.
I was gonna make a quip, and it was like it was too late.
Now you have to. Let's hear it.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, is this game like every Wednesday?
Oh my God.
Anyway.
Oh wow.
Only Wednesdays ending in a Y.
Yes.
God.
Anyway,
that was really good.
So I like this one because one of the things it starts off with is questions for everybody. And so we'll kind of go around. We're going to go around, just to keep things orderly because we don't have initiative order yet because you don't know what your initiative modifiers are. We'll just kind of go in the same order we did introductions because it's easy for me to track on my screen. You're going to love it. I can already see the look in Chad's eye like, oh God, he's going to call on me. It's like I'm at school again.
I'm sorry. No, I'm reading about cultural backgrounds in Greyhawk.
Oh, we'll get there. What's one thing you love about RPGs? Could be anything, favorite moment from previous campaign, why you're excited to play games, or anything else. So, Chad, please try and keep it to just one answer about things you love about RPGs.
It gives me I guess an avenue to like immediately create on the spot with the assumption that it really doesn't matter what comes out of my mouth. Because by then it's too late anyway.
And in your defense, you do an excellent job with it.
Thank you.
So you like the improvisation piece of it?
That's one of the things that I like, yeah.
Yeah.
Or as I would call it, the BS-ableness of it.
Mm-hmm.
The things that got me through college.
You've got a whole group of people that are there to like be like, yes, and this. Yep. Like people are there to kind of support whatever crazy idea comes out of your head. And that's cool.
And then the one asshole with the head of the table who's stuck going, I understand that. I need you to roll a death save, though.
However.
Oh, please. Andrew, Andronicus.
So one thing. Wow.
Yep. We'll keep it to one. Just.
I've really been enjoying kind of pursuing investigation, I guess. Like investigating mystery is one thing that I've really been into in our Beyond Saltmarsh game, and a little bit in our Midwinter Keening game too. The idea of trying to get to the bottom of some mystery, and pursuing that in game. It's been a lot of fun.
I got stuff for you, buddy. Dave.
If I had to choose one thing, I think what I like the most is the interplay between the players with that collaborative storytelling, similar to what Chad was saying with the improv, but just you never know when you start telling, when you put the nugget of a story out and then you don't know where it's going to grow or what people are going to latch onto. I think that's really fun to see where people take it collectively. So for me, that's really exciting to see.
Emergent storytelling. It's apparently is the word or the phrase I'm gonna keep coming back
It
to.
sounds really cool. I like it.
It's a good phrase, and it sums up a lot of the things that clearly some of us love about it.
Mm-hmm.
Ashley.
I love the role playing. I played D&D for over 10 years, and the previous group I was in, like, we only really interacted like as our character to the DM. No characters spoke to each other. And I think it's so amazing to have character interactions with each other and have them come up with personalities and alter their worldviews and grow as people. Like, it's wild. I love it.
Yeah, no, that's you said it better than I could, because it's amazing. For example, Dr. McGillicuddy. I mean, Kirk.
Oh my goodness! I honestly thought Andy was going to say finance.
Accounting.
Sweet accounting.
Budget tracking.
We've made him do the accounting. He doesn't like to do the accounting.
Does he not like it? Anyways.
You guys are running a
growing-
fantasy business. It's a fantasy
growing
business. You
fond
need
of
an
it. I'll
accountant.
put it
You
that
need
way.
a CEO.
Yeah, so what's your
Look at all the
character? I'm an
gold
accountant.
Accounts receivable.
We
I
really
have-
need to look at the Acquisitions Incorporated structure then, because I've always wanted to be a documancer.
I mean, I'll run that. I'll run the acquisition thing for you.
But Kirk, buddy, sorry, we're stealing your
Oh
thunder.
no, it's okay. It's okay. Honestly, I agree with everything I heard. I love the RPG and I love the emergent storytelling. I love the freedom to solve a situation however way your brain can figure out a solution.
And D&D is amazing at that in some places. Like, sometimes it's even better at that than other role-playing games. Hey, one thing I love about RPGs, because I'm also a player at this table, there's a bit in Stephen King's On Writing where he gets into like different types of writers and things to work on. And one of the things he gets into is there are types of writers who love world building, and there's types of writers that love characters and plot. And if you're lucky, you're both. Some authors are and some authors are not. Isaac Asimov, great world builder. I am much like Sir Asimov. I love world building. I love coming up with stuff and the background and the details, and just all sorts of, the wonderful things and interlocking systems. And then, they'll be like, okay, what are you going to do with that, Michael? I'm going to tell a story about a talking goat and his cat. That is not a part I'm great at. I've gotten better over the years, most with the help of groups like this, because no matter what crazy shit or things I might come up with for characters, I'll sit down with the table and they'll be like, I'm a Furbolg barbarian who's dedicated to a god of natural violence but doesn't know it. I would never have thought of that. Let's do it. Actual character in one of my games. So that's part of what I love is, that part of the collaborative storytelling of taking the brain instead of just one person trying to come up with story, and the power of 6 brain strong, bring story forth into world. Big brain.
God's help us.
Yeah, we're in trouble. The next question.
Could go wrong.
Everything. I'm going to hit the next question on here. I feel we've touched on it a little bit, but I just want to see how people feel about the answers. Are you most excited by combat, exploration, investigation and puzzles, or role playing? You can just give me your thoughts on that question, Chad. Just thumbs up to all of it.
Yep. I like to combat. I like me personally as a aficionado of action movies and the like. I like combat storytelling, and the narrative exposition through action. But ultimately, I like all of it because it's all part of the game.
Well, and that's, you touch on a very crucial point that I would, that sticks with me a lot, which is kitten. Sorry, I'm gonna see that cat, and every time it's me cat. And it's beautiful. Everything is storytelling, and everything serves a purpose.
Mhm.
And this is just a personal bit about my DMing. I'm never gonna throw a combat in front of you unless the combat has a story and a reason. Part of the other reason I don't do a lot of pre-published adventures, because they're like, okay, now you're going to do all 6 chambers in this, goblin warren because you need to, and it'll get you the experience and loot. And that's a way to play. But, it doesn't always tell a story, and you can find ways to make it play a story. But I love this. I love the story through combat. It makes combat worthwhile for me. Sorry, Andy, I just broke in there. Please continue. It's your turn now.
I forgot what the options were.
Combat,
Yeah.
exploration,
Okay.
puzzles and investigation, or role play.
It's a multi-choice, or D, all of the above.
It's a discussion.
Oh God, I like it all. But I got to admit, I really do like to have at least a combat scenario at some point in a lot of my games, just because it's fun. So yeah, yeah, I don't know.
Hey, that's okay. That is where you're at, and that is a good place to be. Dave Areno.
For me, it's the definitely the role play aspect of it, with the emphasis on character development. I really like that piece of it. And that's something that I think, kind of like what Ashley was saying earlier, I didn't come up with that sort of type of gaming when I was younger. That's not how we did things. It was very much like wargaming, or like scenario, fight your way out of it, or solve the puzzle. It wasn't about, like interrelational storytelling, which I think is really fun. So that's where I think the real magic happens. And all the other pieces, in my perspective, the exploration, the combat, the social interactions, all of those feed into that idea for me, that they're all vehicles for that element of RP and development.
Yeah. 110%, yo. Maybe even 120%. We'll see how much we can give. Ashley, surprise us. What is your thought on this one if you had to pick one, like you've already discussed it?
Oh man.
No wrong answers. No pressure.
No. I think it's just what everybody's already said. It's good stuff.
No, you guys are good stuff.
Oh,
Kirk,
sweetheart.
follow that up.
Well, I mean, RPG, puzzles, combat, I think all of it plays together. I think you can't just have combat, or it's just you're rolling dice.
Right.
You can't just have RP, or you're not really RPing because there's no risk of combat. It really, I need the whole picture. I think I can't pick any one because that limits my freedom. And I think it comes back to your first question. I like the freedom.
No, that totally makes sense. And I feel like we're in a good place because I think everyone has said one version or the other of how I would have answered this in the first place myself, which is story and how we're telling it, and what serves to make a story good, and make a narrative. So gosh, I feel like we're getting a little bit deep here, so I'm gonna try and keep going before it gets too deep. This is a fun one, and I'm really looking forward to the conversation and answers to this next question. As a player, what's one strength you bring to the group? Yeah, these questions always a little bit tricky, ain't they, guys? So because we're staying
Ooh,
in
I
that
want to go
order.
first. I want to go first this time.
We're gonna go Aussie style now and go
Whoa.
Witter Shins.
Okay.
Kirk, go
You
for
know, I think the thing that I bring to the table is surprise.
Oh, I was gonna
it.
say
Wild
hair.
card.
I was gonna say.
I was gonna
hair.
say you're a pretty good wild card. I'll admit that for sure.
I was thinking maybe your serious nature, just really,
Oh, that's some dirty truth. Since we're now going reverse on this, Ashley, that leads us to you.
What strength do I bring? I'm good at puzzles and reading things, I guess. So like sussing out questions or potential things that the DM is trying to like stretch out and hint at. Like I'm pretty good at picking up on some of that stuff.
I see that trail of breadcrumbs. I'm gonna follow that.
Yeah.
Actually, a very
I'm-
useful skill.
Good. I try to generally do voices and characterizations. So hopefully that brings other people in as well to submerge them into the stories.
I literally caught you doing it for 5 minutes in a stream, and I'm still terrified of that gnome. So I'd say it's working.
You just don't like gnomes.
You are
True,
correct.
He does
and
not like
that's
gnomes.
that's my baggage, and I acknowledge it.
This was almost the Oops All Gnomes show.
Oops,
It
all
still
gnomes.
might
Still
be.
could be. It still could be.
It's early. Dave, what do you think? What strength do you feel you bring to the table?
It's not. I wouldn't say that I've mastered this by any means. It's something that's definitely like a practice for me. But I am focused on, oftentimes when I'm playing, ways to bring other players into the scene with me, rather than a person who is like trying to be in the scene or be the scene. I like to draw other players and their characters into the scene, and will oftentimes attempt to do that. I don't always succeed, but that's something that I'm focused on working on for sure. So
No, that's a very good thing to, even if you're just working on it, acknowledging it and that sort of teamwork, that's what builds everything we've been talking about. So 110%.
Yep.
Andy Dandy Bo Bandy.
Oh God, this is the worst question for me. I really have a hard time. I mean, I don't know. A lot of times I feel like
Well,
I don't know.
Andy,
I really don't know what I bring to the table.
let me help you out with something.
All right.
Because one of my favorite clause in this is if, finance. Is if someone can't think of their own strengths, let others share a strength they see. I actually I prepped this question with strengths for each of you because I like you guys, for the record. You are finance leadership.
spreadsheets.
But the second thing he said there is actually true. You are stable. You are someone who is good-natured, and you are level-headed even in the fantasy situations where we're losing our fucking mind. I am never going to forget when our party was in hell in Beyond Saltmarsh, which did happen, y'all. Go back and watch the episodes.
Yeah, that was
your
not fun.
character and you were the one who was making the level-headed calls, looking out for everybody. And that just isn't Runar. That's also you. And I appreciate the fuck out of you for it. So take that.
I'll second that.
I really like the stories that you came up for your character in Svealand about your like quirky mentor who is all messed up, and
Sandman's
your
great.
character's story about like how you're rebelling against your parents, and you did it very seriously, and I laughed until I cried.
I didn't want no more sheep.
Yeah.
Their fur. Like sheep don't have fur.
That was that. Yeah, I wrote some of that up. Like, those are the two very small parts of the backstory that I do have. So
And they're
I'm glad everybody
beautiful.
liked it.
I thought it was hilarious
It
when
was good.
Stieg was like embellishing the tower story to Seaman a little bit, and you were doing like
Oh, right. Yeah.
you're doing this thing. I thought that was really really funny. Like I was guffawing in the background. It was really good. So good on you.
Hey, Chad.
Hello.
Tell me, what do you feel is a strength you bring to the table, bro?
Oh man, I don't know. I'm always willing to go all the way, and also a little further than anyone ever wanted to go.
You will take it to 11 and
I'll go all the way. I'll go hard. Oh man, yeah.
Wait, what are we talking about?
a lot
This
of things.
show goes to 11.
This
I
show
got a lot
goes
of
to
We're still
11.
talking about role-playing games,
Wait
right?
a minute. This show
That's
has
louder,
to end
right?
at 10. I gotta get up in the morning.
Oh, geez.
Um,
Okay.
No. Yeah, I don't know. I want
Would
to
you
do
say
all
that
the things.
you boldly go where no man has gone before?
I wouldn't go that far. I watched
Shatter
Critical
did.
Role. I watched Critical Role.
Which, hey, starts up soon.
Sam blazes many trails that I would like to follow in.
Oh boy.
You think they're
You
happy
guys-
trails?
And you guys, it doesn't matter.
Oh,
Lonely.
probably.
Oh, okay. Hey, as a player, what's one strength I bring to the group? I'm looking at this from a DM side just today for this. And the one thing I know I bring, because people have said, hey, how do you do that, Michael? Is I'm good at the on-the-fly improv. I'm good at the yes and from especially like a rules and narrative standpoint. I love the Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master because his style is basically make a framework of ideas because you have no fucking clue what the players are going to do when the things hit the mat. And that is true, and it is a thing I have learned to love. So I love to stay loosey and goosey, which is a little difficult and with doing a lot of the online work. So for those of you who have had to talk through some of my nerves, all of my nerves revolve around okay, we're doing this now. I have no idea if we have anything we need for that on a stream. And thankfully, you guys have been amazing and helping with that, and I'm sure we'll continue to. So I have no problems with that. You've been great helps because you're always great helps. That's the end of that little section. That was a hell of a lot of fun. I didn't even think it was gonna be that great, and it was. Let's see. We're not touching the scheduling section because we know what the schedule is gonna be.
Ooh, Ashley, you have a good quip for this.
Wait, it's Wednesdays, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Every
Yes, it is Wednesdays.
Oh, that was good. It was better the second time.
Mhm.
Thanks, guys.
You're beautiful. I have to stare at another screen for a second because there's a table expectations, and there's a lot of stuff on here that again, we also don't have to worry about. Is food acceptable during gameplay? We've already covered that. And I think a lot of things like, preferred depth of role play and story. We've already talked about that.
Deep.
There's a part on here I would want to hit, which is player versus player action, and it's how acceptable it is. My general stance on that is I'm very, very happy with inter-character tension. When it breaks out into actual violence or action, if it's not moving the story forward, no one likes it. No one likes the rogue that's stealing everything from the party, or the paladin that's using his alignment to curtail other people's behavior and gameplay.
Yeah, or bully.
Is everyone okay with that as kind of a stance and an approach?
Yeah, I think we,
so.
Coming into a game, realizing that we are all working collaboratively together for a goal, and we all have to buy in on that to make it fun.
Mhm.
And I think having played with everybody on this stream, I know that that's going to be achievable.
And that's kind of the guiding rule, for me to just use that to jump off into a statement is we want to make sure everyone's having fun and none of us are stepping on other people's fun. And it happens sometimes without us realizing, and that's okay, because I know no one's going to do it on purpose. So, just if for whatever reason it does come up after the fact and, I ping, I'm like, hey man, by the way, you were a little bit X. Like, I don't know, Andy, you had way too many margaritas and you were a lot of fun, but you were talking over everybody.
It does happen sometimes.
That's all that is. That's hey, just this thing. Because you're all wonderful people and that's okay. Rating of the typical game. I'm going to say from previous games we've all played, we are solidly in the R rating territory if we were using the movie session version of it.
We could go all the way up to NC-17.
We could.
NC-17
I don't know what that
implies
means.
a lot of nudity. And,
Oh, really? I didn't know that. I don't know what that means.
And maybe some murder porn.
We'll get thrown off Twitch
Whoa.
if we do that.
I suppose that would be like kids with NC-17.
Never mind.
So, and that's we'll get to the rest of that in a second, but I just it starts the conversation there. I think an R rating is where we've been previously in all of our streams. I think we're all comfortable with that.
There's a lot of swears.
There's a lot of swearing. There is violence. There's gore. It happens. It's how we roll.
Yeah.
It's okay. We're not discussing, we don't have to get into campaign framework because that's already been discussed and written, and we'll get into it in a minute. House rules. This is important because I do have a couple of house rules that I want to make sure people are aware of and talk through, and we'll get in writing if we need. Character stats for making your character. I'm not picky. If you want to roll them, roll them. If you want a standard array, standard array. I'm not going to make you sit on this stream and show me. I'm going to be honest, I'm not even going to be like, show me your array so I see what you rolled. You're all adults. If you need to cheat to make your character feel better for you, that's where you're at. I understand that. I've done it before. We're here to have fun and have a good time. So the last thing I need to do is be your minder and be like, let me see all your dice. I trust everybody.
Straight
Looks
20s.
like it's been put in the
Just
microwave.
straight 20s all the way down the character sheet.
That's
That'll be fun.
That's gonna get interesting. Trust me.
Hi, Kyle. Thanks for the bits. Thanks for the cheer.
Hey,
who's
buddy.
that advantage going to, and will we need it? Who knows? We'll find out.
Nice. Leveling up. We're gonna do milestone, just because this is a 3 to 6 adventure, well, I'm gonna be the first to say I don't like doing math for a lot of XP the way it's written anyway. So I hope that's okay with everybody. Increasing hit points, basically rolling or taking pregen. I don't care. You can roll if you want, or you can take the average. Again, that's more of personal preference. Race class restrictions. We've talked about this a little bit, and we'll talk about it a bit more in the next session. But since we're playing in a Greyhawk, but there's room in the Greyhawk setting to make anything work as long as we slather it with a delightful bit of Greyhawk sauce.
Greyhawk gravy?
Definitely Greyhawk gravy. Maybe some Greyhawk buffalo sauce, depending on how spicy you are.
Let's get spicy.
Buffalo sauce, yeah.
So nothing we can't talk through there. Critical success, critical failure we do as handed. Inspiration. I like to give out inspiration like candy. I do it almost as much as the chat does because it makes the game more fun and helps kind of create that feedback of I'm appreciating what you're putting out there, and you can see what that appreciation is and use it to continue what you're doing. So you can have more than one, but I wouldn't recommend hoarding them because, you might die.
And take it with you.
Not with that. The one other thing that's on the list before I get into the couple other I'm handling is death and resurrection. I'm going to say this because I do it a little bit differently than I know some people do, is I am never going to kill a character without your consent. You can, which would say mechanically you can still die in combat, fail all 3 death saving throws, and be beyond the reach of healing during the combat, but you're not dead beyond the pal to the end of it until it's done, if we get to that, and then we can have the conversation of, okay, are you okay with your character dying? Because there are times when you're like, nope, my character's dead and he went out like a badass doing the right thing. His story has ended here and I'm okay with it. But there's also times where it's like, we all died because we got lost in a sandy beach full of skeletons and it just feels anticlimactic. Not that that's ever happened.
Like landing your spaceship
at third level.
Good old skeleton beach.
Mhm.
And if that happens, and if you're not satisfied, we'll come up with what happens from there. To use a continued example, maybe you all mysteriously rise from the dead and are cursed now. Have fun with that. Maybe you are permanently disfigured in some way until such time as you get curative, magic. I will take a hand off. You will lose an eye. You will be a gimp. I can assess all. As I've occasionally said, I can do way more worse things to a character than killing them. Killing them is boring, because killing them is the end. I'm much more interested in seeing what you and what we at the table are going to do with that, up to and including the statement of, I'd like to keep my character, but I'd like to work out a resurrection story. That's not as much going to be the thing here because we have 3 to 6 sessions. But one of my favorite arcs I ever ran was one of the few times I killed a character. It was in 4th edition, and we turned it into a 6-session arc, getting all the materials needed to resurrect him. Because it's not, oh, you need a 500 gold piece diamond. It's like, no. You need a black pearl from a kraken. You need dirt from the land of their birth. You need 4 honest words.
Like, krakens are clams?
Well,
That explains a lot.
doesn't it? So
They've
that's
been
just
shelled, though.
That explains even more.
They're
So that's-
angry.
So that's my way of saying, if we get to a point where one or all of our characters die, that is not the end of the story unless we choose it to be. Some people take this better than others. I'll be the first to say part of the reason I always run it like this is because I'm the guy that gets salty when someone just dies. However is going to make you feel okay with it. If you're like, yep, nope, he's dead and now I'm playing his squire, Josiah the talking goat. All right, welcome to the party, Josiah. The other 2 homebrew rules that I will be using is one of the homebrew rules we use in the Svealand campaign, which is spears. Spear damage is D8, D10. Spear is the queen of the battlefield. We will respect the spear. And the second one is dual wielding. It's a rule we've discussed kind of in the Discord at points, which is if you have 2-weapon fighting as a class feature, you, instead of your offhand attack once being a bonus action, it's a once per turn free action. So I don't know if anyone was looking at playing anything like that. If you were, that's relevant to you. Are there any other home rules or just kind of house rule questions, suggestions, ideas y'all have?
I have a question. How would you rule something like a Shamshir or a what's the other fucking one?
Is that a sheep? Are you going to dual wield sheep?
A keelage or a Shamshir?
Shamshir I'm familiar with. Keelage I'm suddenly not.
They're like the same things. Keelage,
Oh.
Shamshir, and Talwars are essentially all the same.
There we go. I recognize all the other ones.
Functionally, they're the same. They're the same weapon, just with.
Perhaps you could explain what those are to folks who don't know what those mean.
They are a type of sword consistent with the cultures of the Middle East and Middle Far East. Back in the day, in 2nd edition D&D, they would have either just called scimitars or falchions. I ask because I'm never happy with the 5th edition answer to that question.
And because of what we're doing here, and because this is a rabbit hole that we have been down many times, you and me, and I don't want to go down it for this game, we're going to call it scimitar,
Okay.
rules wise. Just because if I start tinkering with the weapons and armor system, I'm basically having made a whole new game. I have 3 different documents on my computer where I started doing that.
No, that's fine. I was just, is it going to be a scimitar or is it going to be a rapier? Those are the 2 questions.
We can talk it through. If that's what you really want to use, I'm willing to make the conversation of it's a slashing rapier. Doesn't
Sure.
matter to me. The difference between a D6 and a D8 damage die isn't enough for me to lose sleep in either direction.
Cool. That's my only house rule question.
It's a good one, honestly. Anybody else have anything house rule-y? No?
Negative.
Well, then, Dave, I have a thought. My thought is before we move into the back end section where we talk about actual characters, which I think is going to take us a lot longer, maybe now's a good time for a break.
Hell yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good. What do you think? 10 minutes? We'll come back at 8:15.
Sounds good to me, my friend.
Righteous.
We'll be back.
Hiya.
Are we back on the air?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been on the air the whole time.
Well, let's bring it
We
back
never
then.
left.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back from break. For those of you who are still in the chat, I'm so sorry you have to deal with us, but you made this decision, and
It's
we
on you.
support it.
Now you're in it. You're in it.
They
till
know what
the
they're
end.
getting into.
I do.
So
Mhm.
we're going to start now with the actual characters.
Ooh.
Like we talked about earlier, this variant of Isle of Endless Fog is going to be set in the not in the Forgotten Realms. Good Lord.
In the Forgotten Greyhawk.
In the Forgotten Greyhawk. It will be set in the world of Greyhawk. Very specifically, I believe, in the 480s, which for those of you who are playing at home is during the 2nd edition era of play, because the 3rd edition era got a little interesting. And we just decided to go with the 2nd edition era better. Go with it better. I'm a wordsmith.
You said 480s?
I believe it's the 480s.
Okay.
We'll have to check me. It's roughly concurrent with the Ghosts of Saltmarsh game we're also playing. I believe that's like 485 or 487.
470, like 478. Yeah, somewhere right there.
Then we're 478, ladies and gentlemen. The point is, while those dumbasses are doing that stuff to the south, far to the north, off the shore of the great fallen kingdom of Aerdy, which was as close to fallen Camelot as my brain could find, lies the Isle of Man, which is where we will inevitably be going, but that is, of course, not where the players are at the moment from. Your characters might be from here originally, have left. You might have spent some quality time on the Isle. That's what we're going to talk about. So I had given everyone a couple of stipulations with their character. Was one, you guys are going to be part of a pre-existing adventuring group, which is you guys, all 5 of you. And 2, each character should have an individual attachment to the Isle of Man. Perhaps their cat loves the Isle of Man. They're taking them there for vacation. Other than that, we're pretty wide open. So let's change it up. We're going to go clockwise on my screen with kind of the character idea startup, but we're not going to start where we did earlier. We're going to start with Dave.
Question from me. Do you anticipate that we're starting on the Isle of Man initially, or will we be like traveling there, or where do you anticipate?
As a group will have decided that you need to go to the Isle of Man to see what has happened because you have heard very ill rumors.
Okay.
And you will begin on the boat, as it were.
Got it.
I'm on a boat.
And
Yep. Is it a yacht? So all I know right now for sure, because I've played out a couple of scenarios in my head in terms of what ways I could go with it, but I want to play a druid because I have not played a 5th edition druid. But I want to play a druid that's not reliant or sort of always goes to the wild shape. I know, it's blasphemy. But that's one thing about the druids that has never really been that exciting to me. I think it's cool, but it's not what I want to do. So I am considering a couple of different options, but regardless of which way I go, that will sort of dictate what my connection is. So I don't know. I guess I can't answer that question yet precisely, but there will be I'm guessing a druid contact that my character will be seeking out to help them with maybe figuring out what's going on with the island or uncovering sort of the secret of what's happening. But so I'm thinking, I guess that's it for now in terms of there's a contact there that he or she or they, I don't know that part either, but that they will be seeking that person out. That'll be sort of their motivation.
Do you feel it's someone they've known in passing, someone they trained with, or just how do you kind of see that connection or why you're looking for that druid?
It will be someone that they were told to seek. So not someone that they have a relationship with yet. So that person may or may not even be expecting them, my character.
Nope. It's quite all right. No one expects the Druidic Inquisition.
No.
That's very true.
In which case, we're going to keep going clockwise on my screen. Ashley.
Yeah.
All gnomes, 3 gnomes in a trench coat?
3 gnomes in a trench coat.
Can I?
4
I
gnomes.
don't
That'd be
know,
so awesome.
You gotta go 4 gnomes, and then you can pretend to be a Goliath.
That would be awesome. My 3 gnomes are pretending to be half-orc barbarian. Right.
Nice.
Because that's the character that I picked. So I'm going to play Arcana, Bone Crusher, half-orc barbarian of the Ancestral Path. And I've got green skin, black hair, tightly braided on the sides to create a faux hawk, white pigment radiating from my eyes that extends to my cheeks and forehead, heavily muscled, got a thick wolf pelt over one shoulder with red jasper eyes, and short strapless leather bodice with 3 claw marks across the stomach, where something got me long ago.
Tasteful wounds.
That's right. Like healed though. And let's see. And leather pants. I don't know. I wanted to kind of play. Yeah, gosh,
gotta have those,
right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, heaven forbid I'm in like a orc mini skirt or something. I've seen the picture.
It's happened.
Oh, you mean
It's happened.
the best,
right?
the best
Right.
armor, the best
Oh,
armor.
this
I know, right?
This is a Marvel D&D show.
Great.
Right.
Leather and high
Um,
heels is the way.
So I was thinking that so I'm half orc and I wanted to play my character raised by a tribe of orcs. And I will say that my mother was a female chieftain, and she took as one of her consorts a human. And for the sake of it, I wanted to say like you were a druid that often did like shape shifting into great animals and things, so it would be more respected. And that somehow perhaps he had been getting visions or something about this isle, and he asked me to go check it out.
I cannot talk and type at the same time, so if I fall eerily quiet, that's because I'm typing. You can probably hear my mechanical keyboard.
Is
though.
a druid your father then? Is that the
Yes.
implication there? Okay, got it.
Yes.
And the druid was having visions of the island, and you're sort of teasing that out, trying to investigate.
Right. I
like
didn't
it.
know if I wanted to play it like that maybe he grew up in the island, or if it was just like something about it, you know, he got some kind of vision or dream, and like he knew something was going on there, but he didn't know exactly what, and he, you know, asked me to investigate it.
Because always send a bone crusher.
Mm.
Always.
Right.
That's how you solve problems. Unless you're Kirk. Kirk, how do you solve problems?
You know, I'm going a little out of my comfort zone for this character, I think.
Ooh.
I'm gonna go the level-headed character. I'm playing a Goliath rune knight with giant's blood. Raised by a dwarven mother and a giant father, who were converted to the clericship of Fortubo, the lesser god of stone, metals, mountains, and guardianship.
Nice.
So I feel like an overwhelming sense of camaraderie to this party that I'm in. Is how I'm gonna start my character off as, and I feel almost like a fatherly, shield-like presence over them. Raised in the Griff Mountains, where rare earth metals and gems litter the streets. You can pay for more by smiling at your neighbor than you can with cash. Where I'm from, but they were all dwarven, and
You're a little tall for that.
I'm only half dwarf, but I'm like 7'8", so, and I'm like close to 320 pounds. So I'm a big dude. I don't really fit in. So my dad was like, "Hey, son, you should probably go off and do stuff. You know, if you ever get lost, your uncle lives on the Isle of Man. You know, he's a good dude. He'll take you in." So that's kind of where I'm at. He's a big dude. He's gonna have like a grayish blue skin, and
Heck yeah.
and 2 tattoos under his right eye that glow.
Why did they glow? Are they magic?
Well, they are runes tattooed by his father in his study of the runic knight words, and yeah, with rare earth metals and gems, powdered gem.
I
Wow.
believe that is all literally by definition fucking metal. Like, yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I had a lot of time to flesh this guy out last night.
So here's my question. In the realm of the face, does your dwarven heritage or your giant heritage hold true?
I would say primarily my giant heritage.
Damn it.
I've really obvious, dense bone,
Mhm.
Around my face, but I have a
So no
very
beard.
obviously
So no beard.
dwarven beard.
Oh, okay. That's where I was going.
The
Yep,
beard is
Yep.
what matters.
just the beard.
Grayish
Big
blue
giant
skin,
with a dwarf beard.
giant red beard.
Nice.
I was thinking black myself.
Oh,
but
yeah. Awesome.
That warms the cockles of my heart. Possibly the subcockle region. If anybody ever heard that comedy bit. Dated myself there. If you don't get it, kids, don't look it up. You'll make me feel bad. Chad, save me from everything I just said. What do you think?
Yeah. Wow. You have all put more thought into this than I have.
Me too.
That's okay. That's
um,
what we're here for. They're story seeds. Story seeds.
Yeah. So I am thinking about playing a person who is most likely from the Payman Plains of Balkanish heritage, otherwise known as Ye Who Smote the Sulis completely. But ultimately is a follower, whether like a full cult member or what I'm kind of thinking cultish, like full cult member of Shen Yi or Shen Ye. I think Shen Ye is how the book tells me to pronounce it, which is the perfect mistress, the mistress of petals. She is
Please tell me more, because I'm going to be the first to say I am really weak on my Greyhawk Pantheon.
Shen Ye's highest ideal is the mastery of the unseen. Anything that achieves true balance attains invisible perfection. Greatest mysteries are hard to find. 3 great universal principles: the universal mind, perpetual harmony, and internal peace.
Holy shit, I think I love her.
Yeah, no, she's fucking badass. Her names are Lady of Perfection, the Perfect Mistress, and the Supreme Mistress of Petals. Those 3 names alone were the reasons why I was like, yeah, that sounds rad.
Sounds rad as hell.
Give me some dope titles. So my character will be a follower of Shen Ye, and will be a soul knife.
Nice.
Psychic rogue. And will be a female as well. So she will wield cool swords and stab people with ghost knives.
That's so rad.
They
just apparate in your hand, right?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And then they disappear after you use them.
Yeah.
And leave no physical wounds.
I know. There's no. Yeah, exactly. It's psychic damage, right?
Yeah, psychic damage. Yeah.
Oh, so cool.
I was really like debating up until like literally when I told you that I was probably going to be from Payment, what Balkanish region I was going to be from. And originally I was like, Ool, that just sounds cool. But then reading Ool, they're not great. And they don't really worship this goddess, which doesn't really mean anything in D&D because anybody can worship anybody, and travel is everywhere. Yeah, I guess as far as so one thing with her cult is they like the clerics or their cult members, we could say, are active agents of harmony and discipline, that actively seek to change the world and do deeds and make themselves, or rather ultimately make their actions known, whether or not they make themselves known. So perhaps yeah, and I guess for me, like I I've been debating on what my connection would be to the thing, and to the area. So I'm still working on that. But I guess my other question would be like, does everyone specifically really need to have their own separate connection to this place if we're a group?
Technically, no.
Okay.
But if we can come up with something, I kind of would like it, just because that gives me a place to kind of help direct you and throw out the right breadcrumbs. However, everything you just said, by definition means I have things to provide you.
Okay.
You could also be following somebody else in the party for various reasons.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Or like you could know somebody.
Well, if we're
Already for, like,
we're
an
all
extended
already
period
a
of time.
group, right?
Yeah.
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 Mhm.
Here's another question that I have for Kirk. Kirk, I want to ask you this question.
I'm ready.
What if our characters were lovers?
I was thinking that you might be dating Arcana, but hey,
What's your race?
Human.
Yeah, we could be lovers.
We should have a quick conversation about lines and veils right now.
definitely.
Especially if it's me and
Fade to
Kirk.
black. Fade to black.
No, absolutely.
Yes, please.
That was we kind of didn't get as far into certain things because we wanted to make sure we hit our time frame. But yeah, definitely right there is boundaries where people are comfortable, especially for having relationships in the party. Just hey, fade to black obviously has been brought up, and I think that's tasteful for everyone involved.
That's just a thought. I'm not necessarily. That's just a thought I had. So let's
Play with it.
Let's keep it in the air for now. It's not set in stone yet.
No, hey, it's still a neat idea, and I support it if it's something you guys want to do.
You don't have to put a label on it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Right,
Exactly.
right.
Just let it be natural.
Whatever's happening is happening. The important part is Andy is here to kind of drive that all home.
Yeah. Okay.
Hey, buddy, how you doing?
Follow that up. Wow, Chad, you said you didn't have much, and then you slapped on a nice layer of Greyhawk gravy there.
Ooh,
That's gonna put what I have to
tasty.
shame.
That delicious sauce.
Yummy.
Well, I'm going to be playing a bard, which
Yeah.
is definitely out of my comfort zone, as I have not played one before. I will not be singing any songs.
Oh,
Nothing wrong with that, my friend.
Aw.
Are you a hip hop bard?
He will not be a hip hop bard. He's going to be more, what would you say, like more of like an oratory?
Orator.
Yes, orator type.
Storyteller.
Rapper?
Storyteller type of bard.
Mime?
He is most likely going to be half elf. Son of a teenage runaway mother. From a large metropolitan area, but he gets out a lot, and in fact, his adventures are something that he is collating into kind of like a great tome that he's working on, that he is very fond of, kind of getting in adventures and then writing them down.
Nice.
You don't think he's from Grad Sul, do you?
I mean, he could be. Yeah.
I mean,
I haven't worked out all that yet.
I haven't
worked out the Greyhawk gravy yet.
I'm just saying Theo has 12 siblings.
All right. So what else? Like what particular kind of bard he's going to be, I don't know yet.
There is an orator bard.
Yes, I'm looking right now at well, actually he's either going to be a lore bard or the I'm blanking on it now.
Magical Secrets is pretty rad.
magical secrets.
Yeah. Are we gonna get to
Yeah.
6th level? Did you say, Michael?
5th.
Fifth.
Okay, 5th. All right.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
What's the other bard?
Ooh, College of Eloquence.
That's it.
Ooh, that's
Eloquence
the
bard.
one.
The orator bard.
Yeah. So I was looking at lore bard or eloquence. Dave, I will double check magical secrets.
Yeah, it's a
That is
6th
one-
level thing though, so that's why I
Oh.
asked about level.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm just trying to weigh that, and hopefully I won't be trying to charm skeletons all the time.
Ooh.
Oh. You know what I love about you, buddy? You think it's
Yeah.
going to be as simple as skeletons.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Okay.
I won't be trying to charm or deceive armies of undead.
So we've got a barbarian, a druid, a rune knight.
Which is a fighter.
Yep, a soul knife rogue, and a bard of some kind.
Mhm.
That's a pretty awesome party.
I have no have no fear about, how much you may or may not die. You will be resilient. Good.
Given the makeup, I have a little bit more that I'm thinking about for my character. I am gonna go with the Circle of Stars druid. And the reason that he is traveling to the island is because this druid, or a druid of the island, who is also said to be a Circle of Stars. There are not many Circle of Star druids out there. Actually, worshippers of Celestian, who is the Far Wanderer, are very rare in this world on Earth. But my character will be a follower of Celestian, and given the fogs that have emerged across this island, it has impacted the ability for the house druid, the druid of the island, to be able to conduct their rituals to worship the stars and the Far Wanderer because of the obscurity that the fogs have created. And so that will be a little bit more of a motivation for my character. And I'm also playing, I think, so I had it between the Circle of Spores and Circle of Stars, but I'm going to be playing a fairly old human druid in his 70s. Should, by all accounts, have already been killed many times. And yeah.
Like all good druids.
Yep. He's Iridian, and yeah, I don't know where he's from or any of that stuff, but that was sort of what I was thinking with the fog.
You can have as much or as little of that background as you want, because we know where we're going.
And he's likely been to the Griff Mountains, so Kirk, I was wondering if perhaps we could be lovers as well. If there could be some fade to black. All I want is one or two fade to black moments, and I'll be happy for the campaign.
I'm not saying
I see
we
how
gotta-
this is going, like a Kirk harem kind of way.
We got a love triangle going. You should get in
Getting
on
a
it.
little weird, and I'm
Nope.
into it.
Congratulations, this is now a harem story.
Yeah.
So be ready for that.
And
I
yeah,
remember when I said fatherly love shield, guys.
yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Some
hot.
people have daddy complexes.
Got really,
okay?
really weird for me.
Okay, well, we'll dial
Hi,
it back a
puppy.
little bit.
Anyhow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, I forgot to mention my reason for the island. I guess I really like the idea of has heard tell of some mystic secret the Isle holds. I thought that would be interesting for him to pursue, given his him seeking out adventures to put in his book.
Oh, I have such wonders to show you, my friend. I'll provide probably to you very specifically a little bit more detail, and kind of drop that into your DMs, if you will. I'm gonna slide into your DMs with some hot story lore.
Sounds good.
That was a little husky.
That was
Is it getting
also
hot in
hot,
here?
too.
Is it just
Yeah.
me?
This stream has taken a turn.
We've gotten steamy in here. What happened? What did we all drink while we were on break? Wow. Okay. Well, that's all, wonderful start for the individual characters. Now, the question I'd kind of like to hit on is, how do you think you all came together as a party? Like, what is the genesis of why you're an adventuring group?
Might have a table for that.
I didn't have a table for that, but I knew they existed. If you've got a table for that, I would be fascinated to see what it brings to the table.
Let me see.
Un tabla.
So
Yeah,
my character, because of his affinity and for the stars and celestial bodies and studies of the universe, essentially gray space, if you will. I mean, he could be like easily have gotten a job as a navigator, or perhaps, working on a ship. And perhaps that's how he's paying for his way to get to the Isle of Man, because he literally has nothing in terms of like material items and possessions. He has probably a quarterstaff and the clothes on his back. And he smells like an old man.
Oh boy.
Wow.
Party
That's
never
the thing.
stops.
Oh,
There's gonna be a lot of this.
My question, Dave,
as he stands up and sits down.
I like it.
do
I like
you do you have a pocket full of fantasy Werthers?
Werther's. Good berries.
Maybe it depends on how many candy.
Do your
dishes he's
good berries
encountered.
manifest as fantasy Werther's originals?
Possibly, we'll see.
Yes.
There's a table for that.
oh, the lolly. That's
So
Yeah,
yeah,
the
navigator. I easily could have been helping people travel to this place from either the Griff Mountains or some other location, or have met you on the ship.
Well, we want to make sure that you guys have had an adventure or two under your belts together
Okay.
as a group.
Okay.
But I do like that concept of the Griff Mountains,
Mm-hmm.
because that seems like a good kind of place. I know it's definitely showed up. Ooh, excuse me. In Kirk's backstory. And Chad, I got a feeling that it was near where yours is. Again, my Greyhawk geography is bad.
There's a map
So-
for that, actually. It's called
Where's
Anna
the-
B. Myers map.
Yeah, so the lands of the Pinems are to the west of the barrier peaks. So I'm from ultimately I'm from about 1,000 miles west
You from way out in the way out.
Wow.
of and north of, say, Saltmarsh, right?
Well, one question I had is, where is the Isle?
The Isle is
Is it to
off
the
of
west?
the east coast of what was the Great Kingdom of Aerdy.
Okay.
So if you have a copy of a Greyhawk map available
Mhm.
for whatever reason, you would look at kind of like the great swell of land in the northeast corner.
In the north, okay.
And there you'll see that along the coast there's any number of smaller islands. There's, I believe, some sea barons, not to be confused with sea princes.
Mhm.
And the island itself would be kind of northish of that.
Oh, okay.
Can you say it was kind of by a tier? So I have
Yeah,
the map
it's
up
by
on
a
the
tier,
stream
yes.
right now. Yep. So
Oh,
here's
beautiful.
a tier.
Oh.
Yep. So if you're watching the stream, I've got Anna. So this is Anna B. Myers map. If you're into Greyhawk, this is like the most
Oh, yeah,
amazing
okay.
resource you could ever find.
It's
Anna's
wonderful.
awesome. I dropped a link to it in the chat as well. Yeah, it's really good, Eversalt. This map is, and she's also, not to disrupt too much, but she's
Please do.
creating a global map for the entire globe, the entire planet that this world occurs on.
That's so
And
cool.
she was presenting a bunch of that stuff at GreyhawkCon 2 weekends ago. And she was running like climate models so that she could figure out like the logical locations of like ecotypes and, like the Mediterranean zones and the tropical zones and the arid. I don't know, anyways, long story
Because
short.
if I
she's a
remember
badass.
if I remember my Greyhawk lore, it's like outside of this area that is on the map, which I believe is technically the Flanus.
Yep, Flanus.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of detail on the rest of the planet other than there's a vague map that stuff's there. So
Yep.
that's amazing.
She's bringing it big time. But here's the Griff Mountains. So the Griff Mountains are to the north. And so for my character, the Griff Mountains are a nice tie-in because that's where the home temple of Celestian is located. So that would have been a place where he would have made a pilgrimage. And probably maybe that's where he could have met Kirk's character. I don't know. I don't know if I caught the name of your character yet or if you have one. But
I didn't
anyways,
say it. I do have one.
what is it?
I call him Tethros of Griff.
Tethros.
Tethros.
Yeah, that's why I didn't know if Gradzul would work too well for my guy, because that just puts him on the other side of the world, kind of.
Well, where you're from is where you're from. Obviously, because if I'm remembering correctly with the Barrier Peaks, that's way over on the west side of the map, right, Chad?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yep.
yeah.
So
I'll pick a closer spot.
Mountains.
no,
still
no,
gonna be-
it's your characters have been out and about for some time. If your character wants to be from
Right.
that far away, they are that far away and have had strange and interesting adventures getting here.
Yeah, we have worn boots.
You are 3rd level, which, as much as we kind of, as players go, you're only 3rd, you're not all the way to 20th. 3rd level is still a person of great experience and note compared to most people in the world.
Mhm.
You are competent in some areas. You are even very good. So it would make sense that you've crossed
So
vast
here's the
distances
Barrier
in the background.
Peaks.
Yep. They are.
So that's kind of over by Keeland. So here's Keeland
is.
right here, and then of
Yeah.
course
On the other
Salt
side,
Marsh is down here.
Yep, straight south.
Right here is Salt Marsh.
Yep.
Beautiful,
yep.
beautiful salt marsh.
Gradzul, and also if you not pushing you to Gradzul, but a city like that, it's right on the coast, and it's a big metropolitan area. So look, these are all like trade routes. You can see that there's a lot of commerce, right? So
Yeah.
people travel, like Michael was saying. But yeah, we're way up here. Here's a tier again.
And it could even be that your fine bard met this strange follower of the lady of many, the lady of serene petals, I believe it was. Of
No, the supreme
Mistress of Petals.
mistress of petals.
the supreme mistress of petals.
Supreme. Wow.
And not to just throw things out there, but I like to throw things out there. Maybe that's part of what helped either inspire you to actually get out and see more of the world, or you had already seen swaths of Keeland, and we're like, no, okay, let's keep going from there,
Right. And
or
I think,
wherever you want to be from.
I think my character's motivation to be in the group would be, he would need, like, he's going to be kind of capable as a bard of doing some things, but he's going to need some muscle in these adventures, and it helps to have
Half orcs and Goliaths. And
half orcs and
dwarf bearded
Goliaths.
Goliaths.
Oh my.
Yeah.
And
The best kind.
If he can,
Oh
if he can be the
my.
talker in that group, that's just fine with him. And supplement with magic.
Well, it's certainly not going to be my character that's talking much. I can barely stand up. And so Zal is the short for my guy, for his name, Zal. He would definitely need people to help him. Like, that's probably why he latched on to Tethros of Griff, because he was like, I don't know where I'm headed. Oh my, help me.
Come with me, small man. I will help you.
That does my heart good. So Tethros and Zal
Zal.
met in the Griff Mountains. Who next wanted to meet this proto seedling of the group? Which character do we think came in next?
Wait, where are we again?
Yeah, which character came in first? Sorry. I'm like,
No,
I got distracted by the map and I don't know what's happening anymore.
That-
yeah.
that map is distracting. It's okay. I'm just kind of trying to help build a narrative here. It's like, obviously we have, our good druid and wonderful rune knight together. They met in the mountains, and I'm just asking, hey, which of the next of the 3 of your characters would like to have been the next person that encountered them?
Hmm.
Don't everybody go at once.
Yeah. Oh, man. Maybe. What if one of the reasons why Dave's character should have died was I was going to kill him,
Mm-hmm.
but instead befriended him.
Well, you needed an introduction to his hot friend who
to
was the
to a super
Right.
hot friend.
Why do you what? I like this. Why would you have been sent to kill me? Would someone have taken out a contract on Zal? Perhaps is
I
that
don't-
what? Like, how does your character do that
Yeah.
kind of thing? What's the
That's
wet
a
work
good-
like? What's
That's,
the?
no,
What's
that's
the
a good question.
are you a assassin for hire, or
Well-
would it have been more about the supreme mistress of petals telling you that there was a reason to take him out?
Or as an option or as an idea, just I believe Zal is not necessarily an agent of chaos, but he is a being of a certain natural order and perhaps ornery, and perhaps that is just offensive to the Lady of Petals and her teachings. And as simple as a chance meeting where it's like, I think I'm gonna have to kill you. I don't know your character, but that's just also an idea that popped to my mind.
I mean, yeah, the priests of Celestian are wanderers. They don't really care much for the material realm. They're literally, their heads are in the clouds. Their heads are in the stars.
So maybe instead of that, I had sought out. Perhaps had heard of you or someone like you as a star druid, to study with as a guru, because one of the things her cult does is train in martial and esoteric arts, very very monk like.
Well, perhaps you came to learn a bit about the tale of the 7 dragons, yes? Could be.
I mean, I at least found one dragon.
I think Michael locked up.
I can still hear you, and
Oh, okay.
I'm loving everything I've heard. I don't know why I've
Yeah.
locked up visually.
It's a good
but the
look,
sound's
though.
still there.
That was a
Oh, there
good
you
look.
You're back.
I'm terrified of what that looks like. I'm gonna have to go catch the VOD on that,
It was like blurred,
Mhm.
just like the rest of my life.
just mid motion. Yeah.
And I imagine our dear Soul Knife, that had to be a experience meeting the Druid.
Yeah, probably was.
That almost strikes me as a very much a that whole segment is like a weird version from like a wuxia film where you're like,
Mhm.
yes, I'm going to meet a master who will be all sorts of things, and you meet them and it's like, well, I
I've got
guess
to
that's
shit.
a Zen koan.
I need a shit. I'll be back in a couple minutes.
Got you, old man. You just did.
Yes, I do smell a bit horrid.
And then
You
the
need
half
help
giant
to the
comes out.
toilet again. I will hold you if you must.
Let me introduce you to my dwarven Goliath friend. Tethros, meet Chad's supreme mistress of petals, soul knife character.
What do you want, seductive angel demon?
Oh my! I'll take a
Oh,
shit. You two catch up.
Oh, fade to black.
Uh,
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, in that case, Ashley or Andy, the double A's, the dueling A's.
Ooh.
Oh, and
Ah.
it could be maybe you two met first and then joined these assholes, or maybe you each individually then joined the group,
Yeah, could
whichever
be.
you're thinking about.
Well, here's the thing. An eloquence bard has a feature where he does not roll, he or she will not ever roll below a 10 for persuasion.
You're a monster.
Wow.
So you just persuaded us to take you?
So he is very gifted in persuading people that, you know, they will want to be part of his adventure. The greatness that is going to be added to this tome, you know, people will tell of these great adventures for eons to come, because it's going to be recorded in this great, you know, the next great Flaness novel.
Watch
Yeah,
out,
romance
Dust Cloud.
novel.
Nobody-
Yeah, it might be a romance novel.
Nobody
Well,
knows when or
it's all-
how he joined the party.
it's all-
Legend says he was always there.
It's all content, baby. It's all content. Yeah, I think that his idea would be that, you know, if he can partner up with a few proficient warriors that'll, you know, watch his back, you know, that'll be even better. So
Where do you think, like, you know, just in like genre or, you know, concept, where do you think the bard ran into this fascinating trio?
the trio of the soul knife, the druid, and the
Yeah.
you know, maybe like we all shared a transport somewhere together, maybe on the road, and
They do have coaches, I imagine.
yeah.
Although, to be fair, I don't know if the half giant's going to fit inside one.
And maybe
Big
that
fella.
maybe said transportation broke down at some point. We had to rely on our wits to travel.
I
the
will
rest of
pull the
way.
transport.
And adventures ensued, and you know, we grew to be good companions. I don't know.
Bosom buddies, as it were.
Yeah.
I like
Play
to.
me a song.
We fought
Tell
off
me
a
a
few giant
story.
spiders or something, and it was great.
Hold on, let me write that down. Giant spiders.
Yep.
Do not still have nightmares about that. Oh, jeez. So,
Oh, jeez.
Arcana Bone Crusher. Destroyer of
I'm-
worlds.
Yes. I am trying to find a reason why I would go with these yahoos. But I do
Whoa,
have a very, I
whoa,
figure
whoa.
I have a
Who are
very
you
low
calling
intelligence.
Yahoo? no Yahoo around here.
Pretty sure I have a mail service that goes there.
Because I don't know that they. I have a mission, right? But it doesn't seem like they're really sharing that same kind of vision. So either
At least two of them are. Actually,
Well-
three of them are.
Mm-hmm.
Like quite literally, you know, one of them is in their own way on their way to the Isle of Man. Another one has family there. And a certain bard has heard something that the minute the Isle of Man gets brought up would just go, really? I think that's a wonderful idea.
Why you don't say?
Yeah, I'm headed there to
Um,
speak with the Druid, so that's my motivation.
right. And since I'm sent there by a druid, that makes sense. I would go feel like you would understand the same, like you'd be going the same person, or maybe you would have
Right.
a connection.
Maybe
So that-
we exchanged kind of notes along the way, perhaps, and it was like, wait a minute. Maybe your character, for example, would be like, oh, wait, are we talking about the same person? And maybe we
For
would
the
join-
record, you are.
Right, but I mean, Zal maybe wouldn't notice that, but maybe he would, I don't know. But that might be a way that the connection was made is, yeah, we're actually seeking the same person. Perhaps for different reasons.
Right.
What
I
do
don't
you-
know that I would know a specific person. I think mine
I
would
don't
be more
either.
vague, but you have the oh, okay.
I don't
Nobody
know.
has the
Yeah, I
contact.
just know that there is a Druid of Celestion there, and that the worship of that god has been impeded because of the mists, because they can't see the stars.
Hmm.
And it's also possible that Zal forgot why he's headed there, because he's an
Until you
old
bring it up.
fart. Yeah. Oh,
You're like, oh yeah.
Yes, I do recall something about a druid.
Well, and the question I would have for both Ashley and the party in general at that point is, what do you think kind of would be an inciting incident or something that happened that would have driven you all to be stuck together and be able to have that conversation?
Orcs attack.
Well,
We have a half orc.
yeah.
Yeah,
The half orc
and I'm-
attacks.
it's probably my village.
Yeah.
I did-
Because
why
The
did
the
you
half of
attack
you that
us?
is an orc is redeemable in my eyes.
Maybe you guys were captured by the village.
Or maybe we were traveling with someone that the village, that your clan or your group, your village did. It turned out they were bad people. And we happened to be with them and not knowing that they were bad people.
I mean, there is that sixth character that's no longer with the party that we just invented and I love, and will no way come back to haunt things.
Ooh.
Ashley, let me ask you this: for your vision of this village and the parents and everything, what do you feel the village would find most? What's the word? Not taboo, not offensive, but more
Dishonorable?
unable to be suffered. Like a strong, like all undead must be put to the torch, or witches must be cleansed to get a little weirder there, but maybe not the direction we want to go. Now that I've said that out loud, or all those who can write are suspect.
Especially the bard.
I mean, like,
I suddenly forgot my. What's that? A
since
book?
they seem to be tolerant of like the more strong and useful kind of in a toughness kind of a way, but yes, perhaps a people that were of the more a delicate nature, or like more into learning and nerdy things, maybe even magic, I don't know, but not druidic, because
Arcane magic.
we got one of those. Yeah, arcane magic.
Well, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt, but what subclass barbarian were you going with?
Ancestral path.
So maybe they would despise something that interferes with like an ancestor's afterlife. You know what I mean? Like necromancy or undead shit.
So nobody liked
Right.
necromancy. And necromancy is almost, well, it's not universally, but it's oft attributed to those who use arcane magic.
Mhm.
So one could have both. Possibly even, Ashley, if you're okay with this as a concept, because of poor experiences the tribe has had, you can't trust a wizard, because while not every wizard is a necromancer, every necromancer is a wizard, and we just can't take those sorts of chances.
Sure. Why not?
I don't know. It's an idea if you like it or not. We're just tossing things out there. I don't know why I'm like this and now. Hey. In which case, there was probably a wizard with the party at the time of their capture. And, well, they aren't with the party anymore.
And that wizard is dead.
My thought is, because of just the way I would want to treat the narrative, they're not dead, but they may definitely have been set back out on the road naked and without any belongings.
Oh, I was gonna say I have
Classy.
a cause of death table.
It's kind of a catch
A
and
table
release.
for that.
Well, that's-
Catch and release.
Yeah.
Hey, this is a great way to just kind of check the pulse of the table. How does everyone feel about that? That someone they had been traveling with might have been killed because they were a wizard.
It would be disturbing to my character for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, my character doesn't really necessarily choose killing first.
Yeah. If
Perhaps.
that wizard was evil, if
Yeah,
there was
I'd kill an
evidence
evil
of
creature.
evil doing, that would be a
Mhm.
different story. But if it was just solely based on magic, I think
Yeah, I
I
think.
think
yeah.
Zal would probably have trouble with that, but then he might forget about it a couple minutes later.
Well, perhaps even what happened is obviously the tribe not big fans of magic, and they were thinking about killing this wizard, but with the eloquence of a certain bard
Yes.
and the presence of a half giant who, even amongst orcs, half orcs, and humans, is the biggest man in the room. And a druid, which is obviously something this tribe respects because one of their leaders is a druid.
No,
No,
tolerates.
tolerate.
Consort.
Mm.
There's a druid consort in my village.
Her dad.
Also, that
which
could
is my
be.
dad.
I wasn't sure if that was a respect or a celebrate of druids. So tolerates them.
Yeah. This is a matriarchy, kind of a village.
So the terrifying small woman who could make knives appear out of thin air was a factor. And they convinced the tribal leadership that it wasn't necessary to kill this wizard. We see we haven't seen them do any necromancy. And talked them into, okay, take all their belongings, send them on the road naked, have fun. And at sometime after that, perhaps Arcana or Arcana's father, depending on how you would want to look at that, talked to some members of the group and found out where some of them have ties and are eventually going. I don't know. Not Arcana, you say, is low intelligence, but I don't think. But I imagine she still would recognize that, or her father had the conversation, perhaps, if that's how you like it.
Sure. I mean, it could also be like the village kind of organized, like, oh, we'll let you leave, but you take her with you to investigate what's going on this island.
We will let you live and leave because you go on a mission for this tribe.
Sure.
I would have to imagine that your father being a druid, my character Zal being a druid, they would probably speak, have a conversation about, I don't know if he would share his vision necessarily, maybe not. Maybe he wouldn't divulge that much information to a stranger. However, knowing that we were, Zal was headed in that direction because of this calling that he feels would have maybe been a good omen for you to then be, sent on this mission or whatever it is, however that worked out. But I think it would have been much more than a coincidence among druids that he was having visions, and then suddenly this group shows up, and Zal, this old druid, is like, I'm headed to this place.
Sure.
So
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Plausible.
So that gets everybody together and on the road. The other thing, as far as the party goes, I would want to talk through, see what's interesting. What one adventure has the party collectively gone through on the road to the Isle of Man? What have you, as perhaps second level characters that got you to third level, done as a group that
Club?
is of note? Clearly Fight Club, yes.
Fight Club.
I would be in for Fight Club.
That was a joke. That was a
Bardic
joke.
Fight Club.
Let's make circle and we will fight.
I'll officiate.
It has happened before.
True story, folks. Go
Yeah.
back and watch back episodes of Beyond Saltmarsh.
Yeah.
No vampires though.
Perhaps we defeated a crab with a knife. I'm
Do you
sorry,
want me to go? No, don't.
I
That's it.
just
That's
went
fine.
to a table of sea-related encounters, and
Well, this is going to
number
be
86 is crab holding a knife.
Well,
And-
it wasn't a crab with a knife per se. It was a crab-shaped demon
Mm,
with a great sword.
Mm.
I like that. I like
Now, why were you in a fight with a crab-shaped demon with a great sword?
that. Click clack.
Click clack.
Hmm. Perhaps. Perhaps it was a pirate. It was a crab demon pirate captain.
Maybe. Ashley, what were you thinking?
I was gonna say maybe you found the sword on the beach and it was like basically guarded by this crab demon. So you tried to go pick it up and it manifested this demon shape that attacked you.
It does strike me that any great sword that a crab-shaped demon is going to carry is definitely also size appropriate for a half giant.
Absolutely.
Well,
I don't like cutting weapons. I want something that I want like a hammer.
smash. Hulk smash.
I want to crack it
Ah,
open
I
and
see,
have
I
some
see.
escargot or something. That's snails actually. Never mind.
Crack it open.
You just
Is this Is this a
approached
so-
the
sounds
crab
right.
demon like I'm gonna eat you.
a journey
I
here?
bet you're delicious.
Are we journeying by boat or is this like an overland
You are journeying.
journeying?
Apparently, you've ended up at a beach, though. Why you've ended up at that beach? I don't know, Andy. Why do you think the party ended up at that beach with an enormous greatsword that turned out to be guarded by a demon?
Crab demon.
Crab
Took a-
demon.
we took a wrong turn somewhere.
You
Is
just
that a
stumbled right into
Glabratsu?
it.
I don't know.
Well, what sounds interesting?
I don't know. No. I don't know. I'm trying to think of something.
Spit words out. Chad spat out crab with knife, and this is where we are. So,
So
there are literally no wrong answers.
an alternative idea that I had, coming from a land where like precious gems and metals litter the floor of my village, and knowing that the outside world really appreciates these things, may or may not have had some of those, and perhaps on our venture we were assaulted by somebody who knew I didn't understand their value. Because I mean, I get to a hotel. "Oh, here's 5 emeralds. I hope this is enough."
Oh shit. He's bankrolling this whole operation. I can see that.
Apparently,
I like it.
Nice.
perhaps even someone swindled you out of this money while you were found by yourself. You came back to the rest of the party who went, "What? Yeah, it was just like 10 diamonds."
Yeah, that's not very much. I see that. I mean, the other day I was walking to the well and like I literally had to move a diamond out of my way to get down the path.
That's legit.
That's a big diamond.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was about half as tall as me, but I mean
could-
that's
We could resurrect a whole village with that diamond.
It could come in
If we had a
handy.
cleric.
Twice.
If we had a cleric, which we don't.
That was my second option.
So perhaps as a thought, your half giant friend was, in the parlance of our times, taken for a ride, and you, as members of the party, both for potentially altruistic reasons and also because you might need those diamonds, y'all, pursued the individuals that had swindled your friend, and he fled to a beach that you would find out after the fact is rumored to be cursed, but clearly this sort of person doesn't believe in that, and did not believe in that right up until he hid behind a great sword, big enough for a giant to wield, which then promptly, well, was wielded by a crab demon. Is that a narrative or what?
Delicious.
That's
Magnifico.
pretty good.
That's
Now, can I add one additional element to this
you
narrative?
can put some gravy on that.
Is it possible, in the realm of possibility perhaps, that once we dispatched said crab demon, that we were able to have some sort of a crab legs feast on the beach? Because that would be very satisfying.
Yes and no. Because when you slew the crab demon, it of course falls apart into blobs of ichor
Ooh.
and just chitinous ruin. However, its minions that had summoned to fight you, swarms of crabs, they were still there, and they just crabs. Ain't nothing wrong with them.
Oh my god, it was delicious. It was so good. Does anybody have
Reminds
butter?
me of a time I met a succubus. It was a terrible time, but
Druid,
God,
Druid cow butter.
yes.
Could I feel like I could conjure some butter. Let me look here. Let me think. Do I know? Oh.
Do your
I need to
thing.
find a
Summon
churn.
butter.
Make butter.
Wait, do you want to make him turn into cow to milk him?
Yes, we
Strong
milk
man.
Get butter?
Devour, we
That's
devour
what you
the
women.
said. That's
Polymorph him into
That's
a
right.
talking goat.
We
and
milk the druid.
We will milk him. Then we will churn the butter. Yes, it's fine.
I will
That,
churn butter.
Oh, that is everything I could have asked for and more right there, guys. You are just amazing. That's all I really wanted to put together from a story standpoint, because we now have kind of who the characters are. We've already started to see voices at the table and their interactions, which is great, because that gives us something to build off of instead of like the cold start out the gate. And we've got a story to reference that I may or may not compose into some sort of long form epic and provide over to Andy. Don't hold me to that, Andy, but I may write this up a little. And if I do, it is considered property of your bard.
Oh, okay.
You wrote that all down, and there ain't no way crab-shaped demon with greatsword doesn't get its own chapter, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure.
The one other thing related to character creation that I deeply, deeply enjoy doing, and would definitely love to do live on the stream with everybody, is well, everyone's familiar with the Players Handbook, right?
Wait, what is that?
I hope so.
Yes.
Aw.
So there's some confusion there. The Player's Handbook is the manual for the basic rules of Dungeons and Dragons from a player perspective, specifically for 5th edition, although every other edition also has a Player's Handbook.
Wait, do we need one of those?
No, you don't. It looks exactly like that. It's a beautiful book. Because I have one pulled up here. Some of you may be familiar with the trinket table.
Oh.
And I love the trinket table.
I love me the trinket table.
So, who would like to go first to roll a D100 and roll 20? And we'll find out what trinket they have.
What page is that on? Anyone?
Oh gosh, I have it pulled up
It's,
virtually.
Hold on one second. I have it here.
It's
It's page 160. 160.
I was gonna say it's like the
I'll
end of the
roll.
first third.
I don't
Hey,
need to
Ashley,
look it up to know.
I know, you don't. Ashley, please
Yeah.
give us a D100 roll if you don't mind.
Oh, very
91.
good.
91.
Whoa.
You have, oh gosh, a needle that never bends.
That's pretty cool.
That's
Like my fist. I don't know.
no, that's that just like your fist. I love some
Are
of the
you
stuff on.
Are you also a wrestler? Is your character gonna be a wrestler?
I think technically I was gonna go for the soldier background. But I think that any kind of like fighting or like even like for enjoyment is probably
Nice.
very cultural.
That's Amazing. Who would like to go next?
I'll do it.
I believed in you, Chad, and you came through for me.
3.
An 03?
Solid 3.
Yep.
You have a gold coin minted in an unknown land.
Nice.
I would put in there for flavor, just put a little gravy on it.
Ooh.
A gold coin that does not tarnish, minted in an unknown land.
Nice.
Who is next?
I'll add that.
I'll go next.
Inventory.
Go for it, Andy.
77.
77. Lucky 77. A sheet of parchment upon which is drawn a complex mechanical contraption.
Okay.
That's quite fitting.
That kind of rolls, yeah. If there was a character at this table that would have collected something like that, it's our bard. Who will go next?
I'll go next. One better than Andy.
78. Let's see. A better parchment. No. Oh, an ornate scabbard that fits no blade you have found so far.
It's so small.
So pretty.
Why is it so small? This is like a toothpick scabbard.
It's a rondel dagger scabbard.
Dude, some people have those. Some people have those. I'm talking about you, Grandma. All right.
Can I see that needle?
Where are you going with this?
Scabbard's
Dave?
too big for needle.
All right. Let's see here. What do we got? A 9.
09? A rope necklace from which dangles 4 mummified elf fingers.
Oh my! I don't recall where this came from. Where did I get this? A dreadful thing? That's disgusting,
Oh my.
but I'll take
Oh.
Or elf fingers.
it. 4 of them, right?
Oh, that's
Yeah,
4 mummified elf fingers.
classy.
I love that
I'd
table
smell better if you got rid of
so
that.
much.
Oh, they're mummified. They don't stink anymore. That's me.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
All right.
Have
That
you
is-
ever washed them?
Get him air freshener.
I need to learn prestidigitation.
The wizard knew prestidigitation and
Yes,
kept
I
him
liked
smelling
that
nice
fellow. He was
before
nice.
he got
Once
run
he
naked
left.
down a road.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh
He was
gosh.
in good shape.
That is the end of like the kind of official world building and character building I wanted to do on stream. Just because it's not necessarily entertaining for people to watch us going into Roll20 and build out our characters. Unless it is, chat, you can tell me if I'm wrong, but
I've already done it.
see,
So
that's why.
fast.
Oh, man.
I did it in D&D Beyond because I don't have a character to build in Roll20.
I need to assign people characters. You're right. 'Cause
Yeah.
I have them all here.
I
Let
just
me.
did it.
I may already have one in D&D Beyond as well, but I figured I would just re-roll it in Roll20.
Dave, this is where, and people on the stream, welcome to the part where we're kind of, yeah. Dave, how do I assign character sheets to people from the drop? Is it just from the drop down, or do you have to go to the character sheet?
Click on the character sheet, open it up
Uh-huh.
in
Got
Roll20,
it.
and then
I
go
have
to
done.
Edit. Click on the Edit button at the top of the character sheet.
All right, have done so.
Okay, and then when it says In Players Journals, click on that, and you can give Andy Dandy Bo Bandy player journal. Go to
Andy G,
yep, exactly,
and can be edited and controlled by
Andy G.
Andy
Yep,
G.
yep, and then they'll
Beautiful.
have ability to work with that particular character sheet journal.
Dave is a wizard in real life, in case you guys didn't know that. So please respect the arcane majesty he brings to the table.
Not the naked wizard though.
Well, I mean, the
Well,
naked
not right
wizard-
now.
Not at the moment. Hey, where'd everybody go?
That's very true. I'm right
Oh
here.
wow, what happened?
I clicked something. That is the Zoom challenge right there.
Zoom, 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 zoom.
We got that zoom, zoom, zoom.
I have a character name.
Do you kick the forbidden or like press the forbidden candy like button for
I don't know
Zoom
what
and
I
kick
did.
us all out?
The fog got us. That's exactly right, Lee.
The fog is going to get a lot of you. What is your character's name, Chad?
Rehan.
Spell that for me.
Reyhan.
Rehan it is. Wonderful. You also should have a character sheet now in Roll20. Everyone should.
Sweet. Another question. Are feats a thing? Or like, as a human, could I take alt human?
For 5th edition, my default human is alt human, so yes.
Okay.
So unless you want to play not alt human, you'd actually need to let me know. I allow feats. I like feats. If you are vastly against feats now, say something so we can fight about it. I got a dragon.
Oh, I like fighting.
See?
Quick question about now we're 3rd level. Are we just going with like our standard starting equipment?
You have access to, and I'm going to regret saying this out loud, but it's okay. It's similar to a one-shot. You can have any non-magical equipment that you can carry. So you don't have mounts.
I can carry a lot.
But since we're not doing like a long-term game, I'm not going to worry about the fact that it's like, well, spyglass costs 1,000 gold pieces. There's no way you could have one. Not worried about it right now.
Okay.
If I see something really weird, like my character's technically carrying 99 torches and 100 pounds of wool, we'll talk about that, and you'll please let me know why you
I
think
could
your
do
character. Well, you're
Is
not
it
wrong.
bound together as one ball with torches sticking out?
That reminds me of
Yes.
What's heavier, 100 pounds of bricks or 100 pounds of feathers?
Having to answer that question.
Wah, wah.
It's all 100
Anyone?
pounds.
False. It's the feathers because you have to carry the weight of what you did to those birds.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's actually harder. It's harder to carry that 100 pounds of feathers because of all of the grease from all those chicken wings on my hands. It's very slippery.
I do want some chicken wings now. Thanks.
Ooh, yummy.
I have the hunger for wings.
Like, yeah, like for example, like if I don't want a diplomat pack
Don't
for
take
my
a diplomat
bard,
pack.
I can take like an explorer's pack instead. or
Yeah,
something like that.
definitely.
All
Like,
right. Okay.
That is very minor. What I have technically just said is take anything you want that's not magic.
Right.
If you abuse it, I'll just abuse you with it. So,
Sounds
be
good.
reasonable. If you think you're being unreasonable, talk to me. Let me know, and I will probably say no. That's totally fine. You're not saying you're carrying 3 barrels of alchemist fire on your shoulders, so we're good.
And we're arriving by boat, so we
You will-
don't have like mounts or anything.
Correct.
Okay.
You'll have to tame giant goats when you get there.
Sweet.
Gosh, is there anything else we kind of want to touch on as well? The one other thing I would kind of ask is I did send out that consent in gaming document that was provided over by the internet, and very specifically in this case, Dave was the one who shared it with me. I'd seen it around, but I hadn't actually gotten my hands on a copy before then. So I would ask that you all kind of look over that and feel free to pass me a version or copy or list of it, just with the things that you're very uncomfortable with. Because I know for a fact there's all sorts of things that none of us are going to be comfortable with. We've talked about that before. And I don't want to go through a list of awful things on air and go, how do you feel about child murder?
I appreciate that.
However, you know, it's good to have that feel just on the back end to know that it turns out Andy's really afraid of spiders, so we're not going to touch on that one.
Oops, sorry, Andy.
Oh, it's out there.
I will tell
Kind
you,
of threw a lot of spiders at you.
and this
Spiders
is,
out of the bag.
I will tell you something from the way I run games, and it's one of the things I actually really enjoy about this particular module is I got 0 place for racism, sexism, or you know, any form of discrimination based on gender or you know, sexuality.
Yeah, we don't
there
do
will be
that on this
cultural
channel.
problems, of course. It's, for example, maybe your character hates, you know, valley elves. It's not because it's a race of valley elves. It's because they're all stuck up. That sort of thing. So, and it will be considered perfectly normal in my version of Greyhawk, which, for the record, and maybe you'll meet them or maybe you won't, but one of the things I really enjoy about this module is there's several wonderful like couples you run into who are of the same gender, and no one cares. That's just them. And that's my approach to it as well. So guys, I appreciate you about that, writing that in. So, you know, those are the red lines. There will, of course, you know, be ones that, you know, we've talked about before and we consider, but if there's, especially if there's anything else that you just want to steer clear of, but, you know, maybe don't want to go through on stream, which I can totally understand. Please, you know, send that over, and, you know, even if just a bullet points of these are the things, please don't go anywhere near. I will, you know, ensure that we steer clear of them. Up to and including, Kirk, if you're uncomfortable with all of us trying to sleep with your character, please let us know.
I was joking, by the way, for the record. Zal is not romantically
Dang it.
interested. He's beyond that point in his life.
Unless he's a goat.
He's not a goat.
That reminds me of another. Never mind.
Well, that's, I think, all we have for live on stream. Next week, we're ready to jump in. Please make sure you've got your character made in Roll20 at that. And, of course, take some time to familiarize yourself with what they do, because I plan to hit the ground running. So, you know, of course, I'll make space for any last-minute questions. But once we are going, folks. And the train don't stop until, well, you'll see where it stops.
Go and go and go and go and keep
Oh.
going, go and
Well,
going.
should we end there and we could raid into Stella Luna? They're playing right now. We should give away the giveaway before we do that, but didn't want to step on your toes, Michael. If there's anything else you wanted to address or talk about,
Dave,
before we
I may have
stand?
been setting you up for that, and I appreciate that you picked up what I was
Absolutely.
laying down.
Folks, we're going to go ahead and do the giveaway here in just a minute. So if you want to get in on the action, please enter the giveaway by typing !drawing. And we are giving away the piece of content that we're playing with in this game, the Isle of Endless Fog, which was published by Realm Warp Media and written by our good friend Christian and Christian and why am I forgetting his name right now? Christian, help me out here. Who'd you co-author this with? For the background, Christian is the publisher at CZRPG. Jack
Weigel.
Yep, Jack.
Weigel?
Christian is our stream sponsor for Wednesday night campaigns. So we appreciate you, Christian, and CZRPG. We're actually going to be giving away on behalf of CZRPG and Realm Warp Media. We're giving away the Isle of Endless Fog. So go ahead and enter right now, and we'll give this thing away here in just a minute. We will be here tomorrow night with our Svelin campaign, Midwinter Keening. Looking forward to jumping back into that. We have begun our quest to the Fog Baron Village.
Fog Bears Village.
Fog Bears Village.
To what
Im-
fate we do not know, but
Important
excited
note
about
for that. I will not be here tomorrow evening.
Okay.
So I give Chad and the party full disclosure to use Gunder in a
We
nice,
will
reliable
use you.
fashion, because I think you all know what he like at this point.
Yeah, we know what he's into. Definitely.
Yep. Sheep herding.
Hmm.
Yeah, you're not
possibly,
entirely
quite
wrong.
Possibly. All right,
No sheep.
let's give this thing away.
Yeah.
Give it away. Give it away. Give it
Ashley?
away now.
Would you be so kind as to do a 5-second countdown because you do it so well?
Okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and go.
Go. It's
Prometheus 2128. You have won the Realm Warp Media giveaway from our friends at CZRPG. Congratulations. I will message you. I will send you a whisper message with the download. With the download instructions. Thanks for being here. We really appreciate it. Phantom, good to see you. Thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it. We're just getting ready to raid Stella Luna's channel. So, I think that's it from the Superior Adventures Guild. We're looking for Michael. Really appreciate you stepping in for a short shot, as I've been calling it, a couple weeks of fun and chaos, and giving me a chance to get things ready for the next phase of Beyond Saltmarsh and have some fun playing in your game. I've wanted to play in one of your games for a long time, so
Yeah.
Poor guy.
I'm
Looking
kind of
forward to
hoping at some point in down the road, maybe after school type stuff is on break, we could do a Star Wars campaign, a short Star Wars campaign. Do you think we could make that happen?
I run a Star Wars campaign right
I
now
know
on
you
Tuesday
do.
nights. I love the system. The exact quote from one of my players an hour into last night's session was, "I was worried about things, and you made it so much worse, and it's amazing."
Yeah.
So,
Sounds like every time I've run narrative dice systems.
Yep.
yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. All right, let's go ahead and do this. We're gonna raid. Thanks everybody for being here. Much appreciated. Love you guys. Here we go. Is this gonna work? We'll find out. Join us.
Bye. See you tomorrow.